Okay. Again, guys, yep, story time. I think Dr. Richterman is liking this one. I don't know if anybody else here is listening to, has been listened to this visual novel here, but... Okay. Let me know if the music's too loud, guys. I can turn it up if it's too loud. I guess you must have spent the whole afternoon and evening dwelling on those subjects. And Jacob sighs. Let me go ahead and turn the volume down because I think it's pretty loud. So Jacob sighs. We retire in a somber mood, not quite like the couple who ought to be when spending their last few cherished moments and days together. What a sad sight it was. Makes you sad, but to be honest, I cried once already. Yeah, it's pretty tough. I must find a way to make her see and accept the fact that no matter how painful and hard it is, I need her to toughen up for her own good, despite the bitter circumstances. I remember a Chinese phrase I picked up from a colleague here. He was an extremely hard-working chap who worked diligently. Even during the weekends, I once asked him why he had forgone vacations and leave just to attend his work, and his remark was, Zinku, I have no idea how that's pronounced, Zinku Hao Tian. Yes, that was one of those few Chinese phrases I picked up and made an effort to memorize because of its profound meaning, which meant bitter first, sweetness will follow. He told me he had rather go through the bitterness of life first, so as to taste the fruit of sweetness that follows. I had liked that phrase and thought it to be extremely meaningful, and I guess the situation calls for that now to practice with Lisa. You guys, let me go ahead and do something here. Let me go ahead and load it again. I want to do something here. So let's go ahead and go back to where that was. And oh, here we go. Alright, so let me show you guys the desktop here. Maybe this will be a phrase that we'll pick up. Let me go to Google. Let's see if we can Google that phrase here. See if we can Google that. See if it's such a profound saying that it'll be in Google. How Tian. Translation. Words of wisdom. That isn't the same thing. Wait, yeah, Zing. No, that's not it. Zing Tian Ku. Zing Ku. How. Here it is, right here. English means what? What is translated to Zing Ku Hao Tian means that in English. What the freak? No. No, that's not right, dude. How about we do that? Is this the same thing we saw? Jimi Hendrix, when power of love overcomes the love of power, the world knows peace. Oh, this is just people saying their words of wisdom. But Zinku, I'm not finding it. It's not easy to find on Google. I figured this would be all over Google, but it's not. Let me copy and paste that. Copy. Let's go to translate. There we go. In English, it says the same thing. That's stupid. Huh. Well, it's not on Google. I figured it would be all over Google what that meant. Alright, never mind. Yeah, I figured if this guy was talking about how it had such a profound meaning, I figured it would be all over Google. Anyway, it's one of those few Chinese phrases I picked up and made an effort to memorize because of its profound meaning, which meant bitter first, sweetness will follow. He told me he had rather go through the bitterness of life first so as to taste the fruit of sweetness that follows. I had liked that phrase and thought it was extremely meaningful, and I guess the situation calls for that now to practice with Lisa. I know that what I'm pushing for is tough for my beloved wife, but it's better to taste the bitterness now before the sweetness than the other way around. I will agree with that. I guess I will agree with that. It's better to, if they are going to be fighting and having hard times, I guess it's better to get that out of the way and have him like die when they're happy and loving and holding each other than have them be angry at each other when he dies and be all lovey-dovey now and then be angry and fighting the moment he dies. So I can see that. I can agree with that. Diary entry number 8. One day has passed with me feeling disappointed and angry at myself. I have failed miserably in my desperate attempt on getting Lisa to accept the fact that my death is inevitable. I know she's an optimist and trust that there will be a cure somehow, somewhere, and that nothing fatal would ever happen to me. Hey, maybe by some miraculous powers I can indeed be cured. However, Lisa is getting from bad to worse with her unrealistic optimism to the point it's breaking my heart. I honestly rather spend my time thinking of something more realistic than that. At this point in time, it pains me as a husband to watch my own wife turning from a happy, self-assured person, though gullible at times, to this nervous wreck who is trying to cling on to anything which gives her hopes, false or otherwise. So he kind of feels like she's just clinging onto false hopes, hoping that, no matter what, he's going to live. Oops, the heck. I'm beginning to suspect that Lisa's behavior stems from something far deeper than just refusing to accept that fact. It's beginning to dawn on me that the reason why my wife is refusing to accept reality is because she isn't capable of handling it. How I wish there's a solution to this whole mess, but alas, no matter how hard I try, there seems to be none, as I can not only see a long, dark journey ahead, but one where I would also be witnessing my own broken wife's drastic change in personality. Got a death raid. We got Death Junkie Gaming DJ. How you doing, Lee Wah? Loy, I probably pronounced your name wrong. Sorry about that. How you guys doing? Who else we got here? That's the only ones I see so far. There's DJ himself. Anybody else coming, DJ? I assume you were just playing either Battlefield, or not Battlefield, but Battlegrounds or H1Z1. Hey, how's the stream going? It's going well, man. We've been playing a few different games. We played Dead by Daylight quite a bit. We played some new game coming out in about a week called Battle Riders, a racing game. We played a little bit of what else did we play? We played a little bit of the where is that game? I'm looking for it on my desktop because I don't remember the name of it. Oh, The Wild Eternal. That was a really pretty game. It's a game where it's an adventure game where you take over an old lady trying to escape and figure out what's going on. So kind of an adventure game. It was really cool. And then we played Dead by Daylight, and now we're reading part 3 of a novel. It's basically a novel. There's no choices. It's not like The Walking Dead. It's really just a novel where you read it and kind of like a story. And this is part 3 of that. We've been reading this the past 2 live stream Under the Moonshines. And since there is no live stream Under the Moonshine tonight, since I'm doing a 24-hour live stream, I decided to go ahead and get back in the story because I'm really enjoying it. It's pretty good. It is pretty sad, though. definitely, I know Dr. Richardson could tell you the story is pretty sad. It's about a guy who found out he was having really bad stomach cramps. Him and his wife been married 5 years. He's lost his appetite, and his wife kind of looked at him strange when he only ate a piece of bread and butter over his usual eggs and bacon for breakfast, and he wasn't eating anything. And he said, my stomach's been hurting for like a month. And so she told him he needs to go to the doctor. He went to the doctor. His doctor said, you might have stomach cancer, but you need to go get it checked out. Sure enough, when he went to the hospital, got it checked out, the doctor told him he was in the late stages of stomach cancer and might have 6 months to live. And even if he goes through chemotherapy, he probably, to enjoy the last days of his life. So him and his wife have told their parents, and it's been really hard on him. And while he really loves his wife, and his wife obviously really loves him, they've been handling it completely different. Like, she keeps holding on to the Bible and like completely changing, now reaching for any kind of hope that he's going to live. And she's kind of upset at him because she feels like he's giving up, and not, he's like he's giving up on life. And he really doesn't want to leave her alone. He's scared that she won't be able to handle it. Like, she'll have a breakdown if he dies and she's left alone. And he's trying to build up, her. He's trying to build her up to expect him to die and to be able to be ready to move on. So I kind of understand where both of them are coming from, and it is pretty sad. The very first part actually almost made me crack. It's been pretty sad. Michelle, welcome to the stream. Hey, how's the stream going? My viewers are shy. There they are. Holy moly. So yeah, it's kind of like a story I'm just reading. It's been really good. This is definitely, this is a novel published by Afterthought Studios, and they've made a couple of really good visual novels like this as well already. I've already had the pleasure of reading Who is Mike, which was really good, and then another one called Lost But Not Forgotten, I think is the name of it, and it was really good. It was about dealing with like dementia and stuff like that, and that one put me in tears about a year ago. So yeah, these guys put out some really good visual novels, and this is one's been really good as well. So he's just kind of thinking to himself. Him and his wife are kind of handling things a lot differently about him finding out that he doesn't have much time left to die before he dies. If only I took more care of myself. If only I didn't contract such a dreadful illness, which is now a cause of misery to my wife. Now he's feeling guilty. Damn, just as much as I hate to admit it, I am so lost on what to do, and I'm both physically and mentally tired. All I want is better days. Michelle is Miss Junkie. Hi, Michelle. Welcome. Nice to meet you, girl. Nice to meet you. Welcome to my stream. Day 10. So there he is. So obviously, if it's up here, he's kind of thinking it. But if it's down here, he's actually saying it. Just so you guys know. So can we get on with the stuff I asked you to do? Or do you need me to do it myself? I will get to that. But can I attend to more important stuff first? Those on your list can wait. So see, they're still kind of arguing. And again, he's thinking to himself again. If only I took more care of myself. Oh, wait a minute. Here, I read that. So it's this one here. Sighing with exasperation and almost blowing my top, I gritted my teeth in an attempt to stop myself from shouting due to being frustrated. Seriously, Lisa? What is more important than getting everything in order so that the transit will be less taxing on you should I fall dead any moment? Tell me, which is more important? I'm curious to know. Oh, stop it, Jacob. No, Lisa, you stop it. You know what I have, and you know what I am going through, with the pain and the moodiness from the medication. Are you really trying to stress me up even further? As it is, worrying for you and fighting against time to get everything in order for you before I leave is tremendously taxing enough. Can't you just freaking help me out a little? Or do you really need me to do every goddamn thing myself? I slowly pressed my hands to my tummy as if I'm experiencing pain and discomfort while voicing my displeasure. All right, Way Challenger, thanks so much for subscribing. Hopefully I pronounced your name correctly. Welcome to my channel, Way. Hopefully you're enjoying my content. Thanks so much for subscribing. Can we get a hashtag Way in the chat? Seeing that, Lisa relented and softens up. So she can sense that he's angry and that he's in pain now. And so she kind of eases up or softens up. You can see that neither of them are too happy there, though. Pretty cool. No, I'm not trying to stress you up. All right, Jacob, I'm sorry. I'll look for the papers now. Oh, look at that. I mean, good artwork here. He's still kind of mad, but look how her face changed there. She does kind of look like, oh shit, I'm sorry. I like it. I like it. You had the whole day yesterday, and you are only doing it now? Honestly? She sounded genuinely regretful, and I will shamefully admit that it actually felt good. I know it isn't exactly noble, but I think I found a potent weapon, of which I'll be able to use whenever we get into an argument. From now on, should she argue when I question her on the things that need to be done, I think I'll either just put my hands on my tummy, oh my god, he's faking it, kind of, or pretend to be in a little pain. And I believe she will relent easily. Again, I'm not proud of this method, but I guess it has to be done. I know, that face though, right? There, I've checked the items 1 to 3. Thank you. May I speak to you for a moment? You seem so busy the past 2 days. I can't even seem to talk to you without you exploding or teaching me how to operate this or that. Can't we just share some time together? I miss you. And also, have you thought about our Sapporo trip? Maybe the vacation will do you some good. I mean, I'm sure the atmosphere will help you with the Lisa, the trip can wait. We really have to sort out what's important here first. What the heck? I think it's important for your well-being, Jacob. You're so stressed up and uptight here at home. Maybe a change in the atmosphere will help ease your mind. Stress isn't good for you, so I think it might help alleviate your condition. I trust you, remember what Dr. Mark said, right? Besides, it would be nice to spend some quality moments together. Look, we can share those once I've checked off all the important tasks on my list. We got to be practical here, Lisa. This isn't the time to get all, all truthfully, and need to know the basics of how to operate those items. I am not teaching you just so I can torture you. Those are handy lessons and good knowledge to acquire. They will serve you well when I am no longer around. You can't always depend on me for those anymore. As it is, you don't read manuals, and let's face it, even if you do, you seldom... I don't know, I don't know how to get... that's the one problem I'm having so far, is sometimes the chat goes... I don't think I can scroll here. Oh, yeah, okay. No, I can't scroll. I just went on to the next thing. Anyway, she's like, okay, I've heard enough. I'm sorry I asked for some time together. Wow. That's kind of words that sting. I'm sorry I asked for some time together. I see now that it was such a wrong move. You better get back to what you were planning on teaching me. I need to attend to some chores now. They're back to fighting again. My heart sank as I could see the hurt on her face with my answer and objections. I have never rejected together time with her ever, and of course I really do miss spending time with her as well. But the phase kept playing on in my mind. Zenku Hao Taian. And again, that means get the bitterness over with first. Get the hard part out first so that you can enjoy the sweetness before it ends. You will honestly appreciate this once you're past the bitterness, Lisa. Looking agitated, she simply walked off, only returning with my meals and medication like she did the previous day. The mood was extremely solemn, once again, but there was honestly nothing I could do. I simply don't have the time to be all lovey-dovey right now like before. Until the main priorities are attended to, those lovey-dovey moments will have to come later. I went about my day checking on what needs to be done, making a list of all the items to be found, and I think Lisa would find handy and would probably need basic ones, especially handy tools, listing them down, tagging them so it will be easier for her. Lisa was busying herself on the internet as usual when she is done with her chores, and going through the Bible in between. Yes, and also on the phone, chattering excitedly away with her friends, presumably on alternative treatments. Oh boy. Not that I want to eavesdrop, but it is within hearing distance, and it is annoying as well as disturbing that she'd rather chase a rainbow than looking at the matter at hand. Damn, they're definitely both going about this completely different ways. After my last medication, I can still hear Lisa on the phone and on the computer typing away every now and then. I guess she'd rather go on those than go through the list I have taken so much time to draft out for her sake. It's disheartening to say the least, but I'm too damn tired to even start with her right now, and I decided to make my way to bed alone. Another sad night for a dying man. Oh, wow. Well, good night then, Lisa. I hope that you will wake up soon. Day 11. On this fine morning, I woke to the sound of my wife humming in what seemed to be a cheery tone. It has been a while since I heard her so upbeat. It instantly puts me into a good and hopeful mood as well. Maybe I can finally talk to her today about my plans and thoughts. Good morning, my love. Sorry I slept off last night, but you were up very early today. I thought you'd be sleeping in late after yesterday. What time did you go to bed? Oh, good morning. Glad you're awake. How do you feel today? Before I could get a single word in, though, she instantly continued her overly enthusiastic speech. And guess what? We're in luck. I was praying so hard yesterday, and then had this urge to check the internet on healing services, and I think my prayers have been answered. There is actually a service held on deliverance for people with incurable sickness, and it seems that many people have been miraculously cured. I have read many testimonials, and they seem quite credible. They are having a service later today. I've gotten your lunch packed, and your medication, so... Oh, he's going to get mad. He's going to get mad. I could feel my body cringing badly and my heart sinking as I listened to what she had to say. I thought for a second that maybe today would be different, and that we would have a nice chat about the future and see how she still, but I now see how she's still so adamant on this. I'm honestly speechless. I looked up at Lisa and my heart sank even further. Despite her sounding so ecstatic and full of hope and energy, she looked drained and tired with sunken eyes. I really don't know what washed over me afterwards. Yeah, he's mad. Either it was the side effects of the medication, which does induce depression and moodiness, or it was my mind collapsing with too much stress on handling everything with a sudden grief and overwhelming flood of emotions swept through my entire being, and tears started filling up in my eyes. Now he's sad. Now he's so frustrated, and he feels like he's having to do everything alone. And he feels like his wife is just clinging to bullshit. Yeah. All right, Dr. Richterson. Yeah, he feels like his wife's just clinging to bullshit that's not going to happen, and that she doesn't want to accept that he's going to die. And I think he feels like he's going through the stress of dying all by himself because she doesn't want to accept it. I think that's the bottom line here. And that is pretty sad. So his tears started filling up, his eyes started filling up with tears. I genuinely want her to be in this state of happiness and hopefulness forever. And if I could, I would want to immortalize her in that state of being because she seems to be so alive and most happy at that point. I want to be able to bring about fruition to her desire by offering fulfillment and her wishes, as that would honestly be my greatest desire. But damn it, I can't. And that's the most sad and painful part of it all. But knowing she will never achieve that happiness nor fulfillment she desires because of me and my condition is killing my soul so much more than my damn dreaded disease. Without being able to think any further, I could feel myself crumbling hopelessly from the inside. Helplessness and the hopelessness swept through my entire being, and I'm so tired and frustrated. I just wished all this would go away. Lisa, stop it, please. What, Jacob? I've read and checked everything. It's all credible and... But by now, my whole body was literally shaking as I tried to control my emotions. Hearing my wife's stubborn pleas and desperation, it was all just too much. Enough, Lisa. Enough. You have to stop putting yourself through this and putting me through all these unrealistic expectations. I just can't take this anymore. Seeing you like this, seeing you feeling this way, I could almost visualize her face reeling in shock from my words, and though I did hear her trying to mumble something, my mind was too far paralyzed with other emotions at this point. All I could see was hopelessness and a deep abyss that I was desperately trying to get out of, but failing every time. It was like witnessing everything precious to me crumbling before my eyes. My life. No, our life. And there was nothing I could do about it. Everything was spinning out and beyond of my control, and there was no way I could fix it. There was no one to turn to for help either. I am so tired, and I have not much time left, but yet no one's helping me, and no one is listening to me. No one understands, and no matter how hard I try, there didn't seem to be a light at the end of the tunnel here. My ears were only flooded with the sound of my controlled, exasperated breath, while I tried to control my emotions from erupting even further. And because of that, I can only mutter those few words before. I'm sorry, Lisa, for everything. Failing to keep my composure, I choked and broke down uncontrollably. My body shook as silent sobs escaped my lips, while tears streamed down like broken pipes. All those pent-up worries, frustrations, and feelings of hopelessness finally found an outlet. My stunned wife reached out for me, but I instinctively turned away, ashamed to show her my vulnerability and my weakness, ashamed that I, her rock, her pillar of strength, her invincible husband whom she had always depended on, is crumbling right before her eyes. Ashamed that during the most crucial time when she needs me the most, I've failed her. In the years of courtship and marriage, I have never once had her witness a scene like this. Those many trying times and worrisome periods we encountered and faced in the past, I had always been careful to not let her catch or witness me with such vulnerability. I would always reassure her that there was nothing too big that can't be handled, because even if there was something that was beyond repairable, I'd still make sure it looked immaterial enough as to not stress or worry her. It has and has always was that for my Lisa, because with me, I have vowed never to have her faced with unnecessary worries, and that life would always be happy and blissful. And yet, honey, I can hear her calling out to me, but as much as I want to turn around, hug her, and unleash all my worries, emotions, and sadness onto her, I just can't. I felt utterly ashamed, and besides, I couldn't bear to let her watch me collapse like this. I'm all right, Lisa. Trying to reassure her that I was fine, I hastily brushed my tears away and tried my best to keep my composure. I don't know what washed over me. Maybe it's probably the medication. Yeah, it's got to be the medication that's making me feel gloomy. I'll be all right. Don't worry about me. Just let me be for a while, okay? The look on my wife's face broke my heart even further. Her face was almost completely drained of color, and her expression was one of utter shock. I can see her trying hard not to break down as well, while fighting hard to respond in a calm voice. This is freaking sad. Okay, Jacob. Okay. Though trying to look calm, I knew deep down that she was completely devastated, lost and scared to death from the event that had just unfolded. Yeah, she looks pretty sad. Lisa walked out of the room in a dazed manner of tears. Oh, wait a minute. Lisa walked out of the room in a dazed manner as tears started trickling down her face. Ah, washing down her fresh makeup and staining her pretty white dress. Damn. That sucks. I can only imagine the shock upon shock I have to put her through. Her invincible husband, whom she is supposed to grow old with and live a fruitful life with, is actually dying. Her pillar of strength and rock is just but a fake fragile stone which crumbles when disaster strikes. Now he's feeling guilty again. I can't even imagine how it would feel to go through all this. You know, to be happy and love your wife like that, and learn you're going to die of cancer and you only have so much time to live, and her not accepting it, and you wanting to get things taken care of her so so she won't completely crumble when you do die. It'd be a tough situation, for sure. This Kinetic novel is definitely depressing, for sure. Why me? Why now? What did I do to deserve this? I'm already dying, for Christ's sake. What else does this universe want from me? Why torture me like this? Am I not burned and pained enough? What have I done so wrong to deserve this? Why is it that everything I do right now is just hurting her even more, when all I want to do is make it right? Why? I started sobbing uncontrollably as I felt the emotions that I tried so hard to suppress within me just explode. It overwhelmed me and consumed me entirely. I can feel myself burning with rage, sorrow, and agony. I am no super sapient god. I am just an ordinary man who loves his wife, and I just want to spend a happy, loving, and peaceful life with her, with whatever time there is left. Why can't you even allow me that? Still fuming with anger, Lisa's Bible, which she happily placed on the table along with all the stuff she'd intended to bring to the service earlier, caught my eyes. The sight really added salt to my wounds. I don't exactly know what had gotten over me before I knew it. I reached out for the book, and I started ripping it to pieces like a madman and hurling it across the room. Oh shit. This isn't good. I irrationally blamed it for Lisa's attitude, for giving false hope, for allowing her to dwell and waste such precious time, for blinding her, for causing us this horrible scene which broke my wife's heart, for I honestly couldn't find any more reasons to spew out, since I knew deep down inside I was just finding something or someone to push the blame onto. How you doing, Electric Gamer? What's up, man? Truth is, I'm the one who's really to blame. Feeling ashamed, I quickly went and picked up the poor Bible and some of the pages which were tattered badly now. What have I done? Realizing that Lisa would probably have a fit if she found out what I had done, I ended up making a quick dash to the trash can outside. Oh, you changed your channel name. Okay. Are you sure you want to do this, Jacob? I questioned myself, taking quick glances at both the Bible and the garbage bin. Thousands of thoughts crossed my mind. Lisa looking for her beloved Bible. Lisa getting extremely furious at me when she finds out what I did. And Lisa never wanting to talk to me again. Ouch. Lisa. Crap. What have I done in my mad fury? All those feelings of anger, frustration, and self-sympathy had vanished completely, and it was replaced with sudden fear and worry. Alright, see you later, Electric Gamer. Have a good one, man. Fear of having Lisa discover what I've done. Fear of our relationship never being the same again. Damn it. Without thinking of the consequences and not wanting to risk our relationship, I quickly opened the lid and threw in the torn Bible. Thankfully, I was always the one who would take the trash out, so the chances of Lisa discovering it in here would be little to none. But what will I say if she asks me if I've seen her Bible, though? Will I lie? or will I tell her the truth? As I walked back into the house, I saw Lisa opening the study room door to take a peek at me. I guess she had seen or heard me leave the kitchen. Not being able to face her due to the extreme guilt and shame I felt, I quickly headed into our room. I glanced at my faithful journal and badly wanted to confess what I had done, but I was honestly beyond exhausted at this point. Perhaps it was the side effects of the medication, or maybe it was the heavy guilt eating at my soul after what I had done, but whatever it was, all I wanted to do now was simply wash myself up after all this horrendous crying. But maybe I should just sit down for just a bit. Sitting down on the chair, I slowly shut my eyes a while to unwind. A loud crackling noise followed by a loud boom shook me up. What the? I almost fell off my chair, which I accidentally fell asleep on. Realizing it was the sound of thunder from the heavy rain outside, I felt calmer. The room looked pretty dark, and guessing from the sound of the thunder and rain, there must be a storm brewing outside. Wondering if Lisa was all right, and if she was shook up by the loud thunder as well, I decided to check on her and possibly make peace with her in any way that I could. The situation with my wife was still extremely fragile, but at least for now, after having a good nap, I'm more apt and clear-headed to try to make good of the situation. Lisa? Lisa, where are you? Lisa? Honey? I decided to look for her in the study room, but oddly, she was nowhere to be seen. It didn't help that the sound of the rain outside was drowning out my calls, too. Another crackling sound of lightning and thunder boomed through the place, causing me to jump out of my skin. Jesus, Lisa! I tried calling her a little louder, but this time, but again, there was no reply. At this point, I could feel my heart beating faster, and panic settling in. Lisa, where are you? Swiftly walking out of the room, I started scanning both the dining and living hall, and she was nowhere in sight. I could feel my heart racing crazy as I walked over to the kitchen, only to catch a haunting sight outside the kitchen window, and it made my heart drop. Uh-oh, I wonder what he saw. I could feel my heart racing crazily as I walked over to the kitchen, only to catch a haunting sight outside from the kitchen window that made my heart drop. Oh shit, what's going on? Oh God. Oh no. Oh no. I don't even want to guess. I don't even know. Staring right back at me was a pathetic lone figure kneeling with her head over the trash can in the heavy rain. Oh boy. She found the torn Bible in the trash, out in the rain. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, Lisa. Oh no. I made a quick dash outside as many thoughts ran through my mind during that short moment. What am I going to say? How am I going to explain? Will I be greeted with hurling screams or worse? Is she going to hate me? Will she ever forgive me? There's the Bible. They're out in the rain. Damn. But for now, nothing is more important than to run and shield her from the pouring rain she was in and from the pain that she was feeling. Man, this is freaking sad as shit. This really is. I could totally imagine them out in the rain, like him trying to protect her from the rain and like trying to put his back over her and trying to shield her like an umbrella from the rain, and feeling guilty about tearing the Bible. And both of them are extremely stressed about him dying of cancer, but they're handling it completely different ways, and it's causing a rift between them. This is, but I can just imagine them out on the, curb, in the freaking rain with thunder booming, And man, that's a freaking sad scene. If this was a movie, it would definitely have all the super sad music playing. It would be a tear jerking moment for sure. Yeah, this is definitely sad. The minute I stepped out the door, the gripping sight that greeted me seemed so surreal that it instantly crushed my soul. My knees grew weak, and I stopped right in my tracks. Under the dark and gloomy sky with heavy rain and lightning striking every so often, my wife's body was drenched wet from head to toe, looking ever so alone, sad, and lifeless. She was kneeling there motionless in a slumped position with her head down. It almost looked like a scene from a movie where you knew everything was hopeless and doom is inevitable. I could almost foresee the scene to be a future one as well, a scene of my funeral with Lisa bending over my grave in hopelessness and feeling broken-hearted. And in her hand, she was holding on to something. Yes, she had that tattered Bible in her hands, and the Bible was all soaked and torn. Wow. Wow, that is really, really sad, really, really depressing, for sure. With tears streaming down my cheeks at the pitiful sight and a guilty heart tearing away at my soul, I slowly strode towards this heartbroken figure in the cold. Nearing her, my tears flowed down fast as the raindrops hitting upon my face. Lisa. As soon as she heard me calling her, she looked up at me with a desperate and pleading expression. With a Bible in hand, she stretched her arms out towards me, whilst mumbling, "Look, Jacob." Her eyes were innocently huge in anguish and distressed, as if she had just chanced upon a shocking discovery. "Look, something happened to my Bible." Lisa whispered, more tears trickling down her pale face. "Do you think it can be fixed? Can you help me? Please, Jacob. Please help me fix it. Jacob, please. Please help me fix it." Her pathetic voice trailed off as she continued staring at me with her big, pleading eyes. Though she probably already knew in her heart that I was the monster responsible for its fate, she still looked upon me for hope, and there wasn't even a hint of anger or hatred in her eyes at all. I suddenly remember the last time she had this particular haunting look. We were both about to leave the house and head for work. Lisa decided to wait for me at the gate, and I was still putting my socks on. But when I was finally done, I saw her oddly bending down. I wasn't sure what had happened, and because of that, I called out to her, but there was no response. Sensing that something was wrong, I quickly hurried to her and tapped her on her shoulders. She finally turned to look at me, but her expression was one of hopelessness and distress, something I wasn't expecting at all. Before I could do or say anything, I had noticed something out of place. There, in both her hands, I realized there was a bloodied, injured kitten. Oh wow, so he's remembering the last time he saw her looking like that. I could only stare in shock as she lifted the kitten up to my face before fearfully calling out to me. "Oh my God, what are we going to do? What are we going to do, Jacob? Jacob, please help her. Please." Pleading for him to help a bloodied cat that's probably going to die. The kitten looked almost lifeless when I stared upon it. I had wanted to tell her it was too late, and that I didn't think there's anything I can do. But looking at my wife's desperate, helpless, and pleading look, I took the kitten from her and rushed it to a nearby vet. And miraculously, it survived, even though upon arrival the vet had said its condition looked pretty dim, and to be prepared for the worst. Of course, Lisa was more than grateful to both me and my doctor. Yes, when things went terribly wrong and needed fixing, she would look for me. As much as it is stressful and pressurizing, I take pride in it because knowing my wife looked to and depended on me was extremely fulfilling to my soul. Knowing that I, her man, could help ease her burden was very satisfying and rewarding. He liked to be her hero, obviously. Until today, I could never forget that haunting look that she gave me. Lost, scared, and hopeless. From now on, I vowed to prevent her from experiencing anything that would put her in that horrible state again. I vowed to always make her smile and laugh. But now today, I slowly bent down as my wife, who was holding up the Bible, continued looking at me with sadness and desperation. I could see tears still streaming down her face amidst the many tears the sky was bringing down upon us. Holding her cold hands, I closed mine upon hers and slowly took the Bible away. It was soaking wet, badly tattered, and obviously beyond repair. Some of the torn pages looked to have almost dissolved under the harsh rain as well. And I tried to pull her up. Lisa, you need to get up. You'll fall sick if you continue staying in the rain. My God, you're already shaking. She refused to move from her position, no matter how much I begged and tried to pull her up. I honestly didn't know what else to do besides embracing her cold, shivering body tightly and hoping that all this is just a sick nightmare. However, she then turned to look at the Bible in my hands and spoke in a solemn tone. The Bible, Jacob. Yes, I promised to get you a new one, but for now, why don't we... As soon as those words left my lips, I saw Lisa's pleading look turned into one of bleakness and hopelessness. Maybe she finally realized that it was beyond repair, no matter how hard she pleaded or begged. The monster that she had been looking up to undo his wrongs, was incapable of fixing it this time. This isn't any other Bible. With her head hung low and both hands in her lap, she continued to speak. Do you know what it means and what it symbolizes to me? Do you remember how I got this Bible, Jacob? Unable to respond to her without breaking down, I could simply nod meekly. How could I not remember? It was my first gift to her. When we were younger, though I was an atheist, and I had been making fun of her for being a religious freak. It touched her so deeply because, despite our differences on religious views, I had loved her enough to respect what she believed in, and took the initiative to get her a sacred book because she had wanted to own one. It's so much more than just a mere Bible. It was your first gift to me, your first gift. It was the start of our love. Oh, man. Wow. Wow, this is fucking sad. Wow. This is, damn. Whew. It symbolizes the beginning of our beautiful love and our journey together. It means everything to me. It's so precious to me in every way, but now it's... She slowly brought her head up to stare at this tattered Bible in my hand. Now it's torn. It's broken. It's gone forever. Oh, damn. Like their love. It resembles their love to her. Like their romance, their marriage. Everything about them, and now it's ripped. Oh, man. And those words burned into my ears and into my mind. At this point, I honestly regretted everything, from tearing the Bible to arguing with her and for making her cry. I felt like a stake had plunged so deep into my heart that it could never be retrieved, not ever. The wind is getting stronger and the rain didn't show any signs of subsiding soon. I needed to get her back inside before she fell sick or worse. She could have been struck by lightning. Not being able to think of anything else to get her moving, I decided to simply lift her up in my arms. I was accustomed to it since I had lifted her many times before. Lisa was a petite, pine-sized woman of about 5 foot, while I was a burly man of 6 foot, and it never was a problem carrying her. However, it's just that I've not been having much energy lately, and I do worry it may tax my guts, but nonetheless, I had to try. What are you doing, Jacob? Please, no, not in your condition. So he's trying to lift her up, and she's like, what are you doing? It's okay, honey. Let me do it while I'm still able to here. You can always do it when you're well. So she keeps thinking that he's going to get better. You can always do it when you're well. Although still sobbing, she looked a little stunned when I tried to carry her. No, Jacob, don't. I'll go in myself. Softly brushing my hands aside, she took the Bible from me and slowly staggered her way into the house. Watching the person I love looking so broken and going back into the house alone with slumped shoulders truly made me despise myself. I quickly followed suit, not knowing what else to say or what else to do. When we got back into our house, Lisa walked towards me with a towel in hand in a dazed manner. Go take a shower and change into a dry set of clothes. But honey, you need to shower too. You're soaking wet. Oh, they need to shower together. They definitely need to shower together. I'm just saying. I think they definitely need to shower together and like make love. That would be good. That would be good right now. Out in the rain together. Both of them extremely sad and heartbroken. Both of them feeling that immense pain together, the sorrow. I think nothing would be better than both of them taking a shower at the same time. I'm just saying. Yes, I'll use the guest bathroom. Oh boy. With that, she made her way to the chest of drawers, took out another towel, and slowly made her way to the guest bathroom. Yeah, he needs to follow her in there, I'm just saying. The way she moves made me feel like she had resigned herself to the fate of hopelessness. Whatever spark or fire in her spirit she once had seemed to be extinguished. Maybe she finally accepted her fate of everything never being the same ever again. Maybe she finally started to realize her empty fate of sharing a life with a loser like me. Oh, damn. If this is what I'd wanted to see in Lisa, is this how she really wanted to be without faith and hope? Quickly showering and leaving the bathroom as soon as I was done, I sat on our bed, my head pounding painfully as the scenes from the incident played through my mind like a broken record. The figure of her kneeling in the rain all alone and crying. Her sorrowful words. Now it's torn, broken, and possibly gone forever. Does she mean our love too? Torn and broken forever? Is that gone forever too? I honestly don't know how long I spent crying and sobbing like a little child in the room while hearing Lisa's soft, pathetic cries outside as well. It seemed the both of us broke down due to the realization and reality of the situation. Many times in between, when I heard her choke while crying, I felt the need to rush to her, to tell her that it's going to be okay. Everything will be all right soon. But I can't. I can't because nothing will ever be okay or the same again. Not with my damn disease. Not with everything I had done to her. I can only wallow in my own pathetic guilt, uncertainty, and sadness for right now. I don't even know how I'd even face her after this. A sudden wave of coldness swept my being, and I decided to go under the blanket, hoping the universe would just take me. This beast that was causing so much pain and sorrow to this wife, take me away. I'm such a failure. Lisa, please forgive me. Honey? Yeah, Lisa. Looking up, I realized it was already evening and our room was only lit by the light shining in from outside. I saw my wife's beautiful but extremely worn-out looking face, looking worryingly at me while holding my pills and a glass of water. Realizing I had fallen asleep, and recalling the events that had taken place earlier, I could only look down as I spoke. Oh, I fell asleep. Lisa, I'm really sorry. It's alright, Jacob. I fell asleep too, and I almost missed your medication time. Please, take them now. I quickly took the pills from her hands and drowned them down with the water she had passed me. Not knowing what else to say or do, I looked down in shame. I regretted not going over to comfort her earlier when she was crying. I regretted asking her to leave when she clearly needed me. And I regretted tearing and destroying something so sacred to her. But it's too late for regrets right now. I'm so sorry. I tried to think of what else to say and what to do, but my loving wife, probably sensing my uneasiness, she spoke out. Hey, it's okay. Remember what you used to say to me? No matter how bad or hard things are, we can always overcome it. I love you, and I'm sorry too for all my silly antics and forceful suggestions. Ah, she sat down next to me and fiddled with a hem on her shirt, pursing her lips every now and then. I could tell she had tons of thoughts on her mind that she probably wanted to share with me. Still unable to look her in the eye due to the extreme guilt and shame I felt, I simply fixed my gaze on her hands instead. I know you're impatient, and I want to plan and discuss about things. I don't want to. I also know you think I'm a silly optimist, but the reason why I try not to talk about it isn't because I'm an unrealistic optimist who only wants to blindly run for hope and look for a way out. It isn't that at all. It isn't that I don't know the importance and graveness of the matter. As she continues, tears begin to fill her eyes. It's not about wanting to believe in stupid fairy tales or wanting to carelessly have hopes. I mean, of course I still have hope and optimism, but you will be fine somehow. But I never did dismiss the fact that... She paused for a bit before taking a deep breath and continuing. That you may have to leave one day. By now, tears are streaming down her cheeks, but she carried on. We always had our differences and views on many subjects, but that's just how we complement and complete each other. When you came into my life, you completed me and you completed us and made us whole. Even at work, we perform superbly together. Don't you realize how our colleagues admire us? How they find it weird that two different personalities with sometimes completely different views are still able to work and blend together so perfectly? See, a practical person needs a... And this is what I hate right here. I can't read it all. Like, I don't know... Yeah, there's nothing I can do to... I can't scroll. That's silly. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, there's nothing I can do. That sucks because it is, you know, I hate missing words. See, a practical person needs a... Yes. I can't help but chuckle and agree with what Lisa said. Yes, they did, but that's because they don't know what went on behind the scenes. And what was that? That I've been working hard at carefully picking up all your broken pieces and fixing all your flawed ideas. Those that didn't work and fix them, so you look good. I am your damage control department. Oh, Jacob, no you did not. She hit me with her hand and continued. Don't you realize, Jacob, by now, I wasn't opposing your ideas nor trying to turn away from the reality. I'm just being myself, and I don't want to just accept the fact that you'll be leaving me and only go down that path. It is also because I know I cannot function and live without you. I know I am not capable of living a life on my own without you. Not anymore. I cannot even imagine myself without you next to me in bed or a home without you. Ah. By now she was burying her head on her hands and sobbing quietly. Oh, that's sad. My heart and my eyes began to hurt and sting again. That is why I cannot do any planning, because I do not foresee myself living a life when you're not around. Hence, I don't want to waste time over that, but instead make full use of whatever time I have looking for something, anything, which may help both of us to spend a longer time together here on Earth. While you're planning for your death and a life for me without you around, I'm planning for your cure and a fruitful life with you around until we're both old. I wasn't wasting time nor being a silly optimist, because I know I won't be able to survive without you realistically. I know, Jacob, you are my life. You always have been. I sighed upon hearing that. Lisa, honey, you can... I truly doubt it, Jacob. But even if I could, I choose not to. And I have made up my mind. Without you, there'll be no life at all. You are truly my other half. And I'm so blessed and privileged to have found you here. I'm not going to let you go alone to whatever it is you're going. If you should leave, I would like to leave with you. Damn, that is just really, really sad. That is very touching. How could you not get teary-eyed if you've listened to this whole story? I don't know. I got tears in my eyes. That is extremely that's extremely touching. It's wow. It's almost like the Titanic movie, you know, where she wants to die with him. He's her other half, and she loves him so much she can't possibly go on without him. Yeah, it's pretty sad. Hearing those words coming from my wife's mouth left me speechless. I can imagine why. I mean, he already knew how much she loved him and how much he loved her, but hearing those words would break you in half. How could hearing that not break you in half and realizing that you're going to die? So now not only does he have knowing he's going to die on his shoulders, I mean, he kind of already knew it before. That's why he was wanting to get everything ready. But now he knows that she doesn't have the power. She's admitting that she wants to die when he does. She doesn't even want to be there on Earth when he goes. Is he going to get more stubborn about building her up so she can make it? Or is he going to... I don't know. That would be tough. All this time I was worried that she wasn't being realistic, that she was just being gullible and believing anything and was incapable of handling the truth. But actually, in reality, she had already accepted it all. I had to admit she was being more of a pragmatist than anything in her own way. She wasn't wasting time. She was making plans and doing whatever she could to carry out what she had already set her mind to do. Her acceptance and reality was that she would do anything that she could, while she was still able to, in order to stop me from leaving this world, because she couldn't live without me. Whew. It seemed my wife had it all figured out, and she was definitely stronger than what I had made her out to be, especially after what she had said, and how she had to pick herself up from the Bible incident. I thought it would have torn her beyond repair, but I was wrong. Even if she did pick herself up, I had never expected it to be that quickly. I won't deny the fact that she was broken over it, because I know what it meant to her. And after witnessing how she handled the stress and the traumatic situation thrown at her, I am truly relieved. She told me that she had never dismissed the fact that I would leave her one day. That itself was a big consolation. If she had that at the back of her mind while she made her optimistic plans, it was all good. I guess I was just too preoccupied to see and understand her ways. All the time I was struggling and worrying and making plans, which obviously now were non-essential. You know, this reminds me of, women And one thing I have learned in my life is that as males, as he's already said, as Jacob here has already said a number of times, he wants to be her hero. He wants to be her rock. And now he's feeling really guilty that he's going to die. He's going to leave her alone. And how is she going to live without him? Blah, 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 blah. And I know that as men have a tendency that whenever a woman has a problem, no matter what it is, we always try to solve it for her. Our biggest mistake as men is always trying to rush and interrupt them when they're speaking about how hard a day they had at work, for example. And we interrupt them and we try to give them some stupid answer. We want to solve their problems for them when that's not what they want at all. They're not idiots. They know what to do. They just want us to listen. They want us to be there. They want to be heard. They want to be understood. And guys are so busy trying to be heroes for our women and trying to answer and solve all their problems that we fail to listen most of the time. And this really reminds me of that. He's so busy trying to be her hero and worrying about that she won't be able to handle it and blah, 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 that she here completely blew his mind. She already knew that he was going to die. She had already accepted it. But she's now decided that she's going to do everything she can to just try to keep him there with her because she doesn't want to live without him. She simply doesn't want to live without him. She knows. She knows, and all this time he thought she didn't know. Like she was too stupid to know that he's really going to die, to be realistic about it. That'd be, that's tough. I mean, men and women are definitely different, but, yeah. The love story that this visual novel creates is one of rare beauty, even found in a book or a story. If you can find a love in your life, that is this strong, as strong as portrayed by these two people here, you've got one in a million. You've got that Titanic love. You've got the love of written about in movies like The Notebook or whatever. To love somebody that much and say, I can't live without you, period. That's amazing. And however wrong I believed her thought processes were on not being able to continue without me, I was somehow comforted by the depths of her love for me. I knew it was selfish, and I knew I needed to work on changing her mindset. But then, at that moment, I just wanted to bask in that comfort with that burden off my chest. I love you, Lisa. I always will. I'm sorry I didn't take time to understand or ask you. I just assumed. She put her finger to my lips, and she looked at my face. What did I say about not having to say sorry to me? I mean it, Jacob. And the Bible, God, will you ever forgive me? Oh, please, please don't. You are more to me than that Bible, Jacob. As long as I still have you, I'll be fine. It's just when you started pushing me away every time and forcing your ways upon me, I took comfort in the sacredness of our love through it. At that time, that was the closest thing I had of you, and a reminder of our love and the beautiful times we spent together. With that, I hugged her really tight while she placed her head on my shoulders. Comfort her with her presence, I closed my eyes and heaved a sigh of relief, just for the fact that my wife still loved me so much, despite my weaknesses and my shortcomings. I did not have many thoughts after what she said. No more ambitious plan inhabiting my mind. No more realistic planning. Not after what had dawned on me that day. Now, my foremost thoughts turned primarily to understanding Lisa, truly listening to her, and sharing my feelings while understanding hers. Spending loving and beautiful times together, and making up as much as I can for all the hurt I've caused. Those few days were just a one-way street. I was only focused on getting my objective across without trying to understand or listen to my wife's. Yes, none of that anymore. We will see what tomorrow brings. Wow. That is a big moment for these guys. She really reached him there. And, wow. That's amazing. Are you okay, Jacob? Your body feels pretty warm. I'm fine, my love. I'm just feeling a little chilly. Maybe from the rain earlier? No, your body feels really hot. Through the little light that shone in, I could see my wife's face looking a little panicked. Maybe I just caught a cold, Lisa. She was already reaching for the drawer and took out the thermometer. Placing it into my mouth and reading it after, she exclaimed, "You're running a temperature, Jacob. Oh my God. Should I call Dr. Mark?" Lisa, love, please don't worry about that. I feel fine. I really do. Come sit down with me a while more. Let's plan a date for that Sapporo trip. I tried to pull her down to feel her warmth and comfort again, which I clearly missed, especially after everything that had been going on those past few days. But she was more preoccupied with her own thoughts right now. No, Jacob, I think I should call him. I don't know if I could even give you a paracetamol or aspirin to bring it down without interfering with your other medications. I think I should give him a call. Oh no, maybe we should just get you to the hospital. Lisa, honey, please, I feel fine. I'm probably just coming down with a cold. Besides, do you have Dr. Mark's number? It's already evening, and I don't even think you're going to catch him in the hospital now. Yes, I do. I asked him for it before we left in case of an emergency, and he obliged. Wow. This isn't an emergency, Lisa. He may get really annoyed at you for calling him after office hours. Also, I don't want him to think I am such a crybaby, because after the last incident where I made myself sound like a wimp, he will probably conclude that I just caught a cold in the end. I know, but having a temperature isn't a really good thing, and I don't think we should treat it lightly. I really don't care much what he thinks about my husband. I know my husband is everything but a wimp. I sighed and agreed to let her call Dr. Mark, just because I knew it would be quite futile to argue with this hot-headed girl when she had her mind set on something. Also, I didn't want to further worry her. She walked out of the room, and I closed my eyes for a while. Thank you, heavens. Despite all my failings and all my mistakes, you still love me enough to not take my wife's love away from this man. I remained in that state for humble gratitude before Lisa entered again, this time with two paracetamol capsules in hand. I can't pronounce that. Paracetamol. I've spoken to him. He wasn't very happy to know that you're running a temperature, and he said there's no need to panic. He asked me to give you these for now and bring you in tomorrow, just for a regular checkup. Oh, Lisa. I dreaded the thought of visiting the hospital again. I had just made up with my wife and had hoped to spend some loving time with her. Some breathing space to slow down after the whirlwind of these last few days. God, I'm really tired. It's for the best, just to be sure, and I don't want you to have me worried, okay? Whatever it is, we'll face it together. But for now, Jacob Cutler, I'm going to prepare a quick meal for you. And then you will rest. Despite telling her I didn't have much of an appetite and would have preferred just to rest, she insisted that I eat. So I ate, and she served me my soft food again, though I was trying hard to keep awake and while feeling really cold and heavy-headed. Diary entry number 9. Hello, my faithful friend. I have taken ill these 3 days, and despite wanting to pin down my thoughts and happenings, I was too preoccupied with spending time at the hospital, more together time with my the love of my life, and resting. A drastic change of events has taken place, which is unexpected, and with that my mindset, it is astounding how everything falls right into this moment. Where previously I was writing from a place full of dissatisfaction with my wife's attitude and a need to chase time, rushing every constant minute, I am instead writing from a place of bliss and peace, even though I am down with a bad flu. Yes, I'm still aware of my condition at hand, but it does not bother me as much now. Lisa has opened my mind and my eyes to another world, a world from her perspective. I have come to understand her more these past few days and her unique way of viewing everything. I must admit it is a much better outlook than mine, and though I may not fully comprehend nor say I fully agree with her direction, I'm not going to dismiss giving it a go. Where my views tend to come from a place of impending doom and harsh judgment without flexibility, hers were more of hope and soft loving. She has also made me see that it is all right to have a different view, or different views which are not right or wrong, but should be taken into consideration and integrated into the situation. I will not say that I have been defeated or became influenced into her ways of thinking, but I have come to adopt her ways happily and with an open mind. I have come to see that my loving wife is not as weak as I made her out to be all these years, nor a silly, gullible, and vulnerable woman. She is anything but that. Instead, she is a strong-willed and capable woman who will carry out her goals to the best of her ability, despite her husband putting her down constantly during its bad moments. Her thoughts and actions come from a place of hope and love. I am so proud of Lisa upon this revelation. Anyway, I am truly at bliss and appreciate these peaceful and loving days with my caring and loving wife. I regret how I acted towards her during the whole previous incident. These past few days have been totally heaven for me. Lisa is looking pretty tired these days, and I think she may be coming down with a flu as well. I hope I didn't pass her my virus. She seems to be eating less too, and feeling quite sick often from the eating. I hope she's not coming down with a stomach flu. We made a visit to the doctor for my fever. The session with Dr. Mark was pretty pleasant. Fortunately, he was confident that what I had was just a routine flu, as I have all the symptoms of it, from itchy throat to heavy head to a slightly runny nose. However, he thinks I should just go for a test, as he would like to see the progression of my cancer as well to rule out infection or inflammation or otherwise, as my condition now makes me quite vulnerable due to a weakened immune system. He also increased my dosage of medications and suggested lots and lots of rest and fluids. The doctor said I need to make a decision on taking up the therapies offered, but I need to bring up my immunity if I should choose those. Lisa has other plans in mind. Holistic treatments, she calls it. For me, I have no qualms with whatever she decides, really, because I have decided to take it easy. We have tried my ways. The Lisa was being a pain then, and it wasn't a good journey. I think it is fair that we try hers too. And her ways are so loving and so calm. I enjoy being in that state with her, seeing her happy and with hope, and secretly I enjoy that piece of silly optimism and hope that she has. Somehow it's like we're two silly teenagers looking for something magical through this journey. As Lisa puts it, it isn't quite a cure for me, but a cure for us. And like they say, the destination is not the journey. The destination is not the journey, but the journey itself. And I prefer Lisa's way of journeying over mine 100-fold. Mine was one of gloom and constant moving towards an imminent death as the final destination. A journey filled with negativity, sadness, and hurt. And Lisa's journey was one of light, comfort, and peace. I thank the heavens for bringing Lisa into my life. She is right. As much as she said I complete her, I think she completes me and completes both of us as beings here on this earth. Anyway, these 3 days have been tiring, but happy despite my cold. Though not much of thoughts on my disease these past few days, I know that I am kind of getting accustomed to the dreaded pain that I am losing more and more of my appetite. Fortunately, no bloody stool since the last time. But because of my temperature and to monitor the progression of my condition, Dr. Mark had ordered me to go for further tests again to ascertain my condition and to check on the progression. But that will only give me a few days later. That will only be a few days later, after I am well from the flu. Day 12. Darling, wake up. We need to go for your appointment. I made breakfast, too. I vaguely heard my beloved's wife's voice calling out to me. I was still stirring and reminiscing about the feelings of the night before, of my wife's body beside me, feeling me warm all night and checking my temperature every now and then with her loving and caring ways. I dreaded the thought to have to wake up and leave for the hospital. The chill and tiredness was still very evident on my body, and I had developed a bad runny nose as well. I remember having fleeting dreams of Lisa, of her alone in the rain somewhere. Nightmares, more like. But I was glad it was just that. Just a nightmare. Love, can we skip this? I'd rather spend some time together with you. I pulled her down to give her a morning kiss and hug her. Jacob, my blouse, it's been freshly pressed. But nonetheless, she returned my embrace and kisses all the same. Come on, let's have breakfast. Though it was as tasteless and bland as the food I had eaten yesterday, this time it somehow tasted special and appetizing. It must have been the emotional state I was in, and with Lisa in this wonderful way. Despite my temperature and heavy head, I managed to finish quite a bit. It tastes really good, my love, thank you. Really? Actually, it was the same as yesterday's. Thought about giving you something light again since you're running a temperature. Really? Well, somehow it's kind of tasty today. I don't know, in its own way. Lisa beamed and whispered a quick thank you. I'm glad you're finally getting your appetite back. Funny, the temperature you've got is actually helping you. Quite magical. She spoke with a twinkle of curiosity in her eyes. It isn't the magic of the temperature. As it is, it's killing me with chills and a heavy head. It's the miracle of you, my love. Lisa, as cheesy as it sounds, I've been blind to it these past few days. My wife of 5 years actually blushed slightly with those words and smiled. It was such a light and happy morning despite the temperature. I thought it was ironic that those few damn days were laden with so much heaviness and grief despite no temperature running. Truly, Lisa's love and optimism with nothing but of short and magical love. You were operating in frequency and understood where she was coming from. We made our way lovingly together to the hospital, a different scene from when we were last there. Remembering that time, I was filled with anxiety watching my wife while she furiously arranged for me to be discharged. This time, however, the atmosphere is totally different. Serene and happy is all I can describe. Okay? I looked at my wife lovingly, admiring everything about her, but I noticed she looked quite pale despite her happy and ecstatic mood. Well, what did I expect after yesterday's incident? The thought of everything that happened yesterday, I'm surprised both of us came out unscathed and alive, especially her. It's all honestly because of my wife's loving nature and forgiveness. I truly have her to thank for it. I don't think I'd be able to come out of that abyss if it wasn't for her not being able to fix the situation, if not for her forgiving nature. Lisa, thank you, my love. For? Jacob Kettler? That's us. Let's go. Good morning, Mr. Cutler. Your cold seems quite bad. Really, Mr. Cutler, you shouldn't have even been out in that horrid storm at all. It was quite a terrible storm. Dr. Mark greeted us upon entering, but clearly with displeasure when he saw the state I was in, with sniffles and watery eyes. What? How? Feeling a little embarrassed that he knew about what transpired yesterday, I shot a quick look at Lisa. I just, he told him. She told him. But Dr. Mark cut her off abruptly. Yes, your wife told me all about it. How you were adamant and insisted on taking out the trash, even on a stormy day. You should have known better than to brave a storm like that. Trash can wait, Mr. Cutler. Please, just call me Jacob. The doctor smiled and continued. Health is more important than throwing out trash, Jacob, especially in your condition where you ought to try and stay healthy and keep your immunity up. He continued with a pretty stern but concerned voice, which seemed like lecturing. Please, next time, if ever it should rain, try and resist the urge. Do it only when it's sunny or when the rain has stopped. You're probably accustomed to that previously, but remember, you have a condition now, and keeping yourself healthy is the priority, not taking out the trash. At this point, I hung my head low, just because I almost burst into laughter. Because being a wimp, or besides being a wimp, I think Dr. Mark thinks I have some ADD on taking out the trash. And all thanks to my mischievous wife. She didn't tell him everything, obviously. So, Jacob, I hope you can remember what I just said the next time it rains, and you have that adamant urge. Health is of the utmost importance now, and not trash clearing. I nodded like a child being reprimanded, and all the time feeling ticklish. All right, let's see how bad your cold is, and get you some medication for relief. While he fumbled with his digital thermometer, I took a quick glance at Lisa, and she gave me a sheepish, mischievous smile, and winked, and a wicked wink. Huh. That's cool. Come, let me take your temperature. After the routine examination, he proceeded to ask if my stomach still hurts badly, and if I still noticed any bloody stools. I haven't noticed any more blood in my stools, though my stomach still hurts every now and then. It is more of a discomfort than an acute pain. Well, that's a very good sign. I don't think the temperature has anything to do with your stomach, then. I doubt there is any infection going on there, except I believe you are coming down with a very bad flu. All classic symptoms of flu. So I'm going to give you some cold medication and antibiotics, as your throat looks a little inflamed. Is your throat itchy at all? Yeah, slightly since this morning. Yes, I think I'll put you on a course of antibiotics. Tell me, Jacob, how's your appetite? Pretty much the same. No, not really. Actually, he hasn't been eating much except this morning, Doctor. And what diet is he on? The soft vegetable and fish diet without oil. Good. Try to keep him on that for now. Are you sure it's not due to any pain that you are not eating, Jacob? Because I know tumor is quite large and it would have perhaps contributed to you not wanting to eat. If it is, and if it really is causing you concern and discomfort, we can try doing something about it. Like? Well, for one, if it really causes him discomfort and prevents him from eating, we can look into the option of surgery to remove a small part of his intestine in which the tumor resides at. Of course, it would shorten the intestine, but otherwise it wouldn't do much damage. But of course, for Jacob's case, since he's already at stage 4 of the cancer, cells have spread deep into other parts of his organs. Removing it doesn't mean removing his cancer entirely, just the tumor that is causing his not ability to eat, I guess. Yeah, see, that's the only problem I'm having with this visual novel is there's no way to read all this. There's no way to, and it's being cut off, and that sucks. Yeah, I mean, if I save it, I think I've already looked at this. There's no way to... yeah, there's no way to fix it. Anyway. Looking at Lisa now, he continued. By the way, have you decided to look at the options of the therapies I have suggested to you and your husband previously? Oh, we haven't discussed that yet. I think we will discuss it among ourselves later, and we will inform you of our choice then, Doctor. Yes, very well. I am sorry to have to be blunt, Jacob, but at the stage you're in now, you know the chances are pretty slim for a complete recovery, right? It could be a good choice as it might help slow down and prevent new cancer cell growth, but success is not guaranteed. There also might be complications in between. So do weigh all the points and think thoroughly before you make your decision. All right, doctor, we will. Thank you. However, just for precautionary measures, I'd like to see you next week once you have finished your medication. And if you are well by then, I would like to schedule you for another test. A test again? Yes, but nothing to be concerned about. I'd just like to check on the progression of the tumor's growth in the cancer cells. Nothing serious. More like a routine check. For now, I'm pretty worried about your appetite, Jacob. You need to try to eat when able. Yes, doctor. For the past 2 days, he has only eaten just a few spoonfuls of his meal. It can be because it's part of his condition where he will and does lose interest in food. But Jacob, are you under any stress these last few days? I know it hasn't been easy coming to terms with what you have, but you truly need to relax and not worry so much. It won't do you any good with your condition. Yes, doctor, thanks. Well, don't worry too much for now. I will give you some additional vitamins to boost your immunity and appetite, but do take lots of rest. Do get lots of rest and drink plenty of fluids right now, okay? All right, doctor, thanks. Thank you very much, doctor. Always a pleasure, and hope to see you well next week. And Jacob? Yes, doctor? Please remember what I said about the trash and the rain. Oh, yeah, of course. That's funny. Thanking the doctor again, we made our way out the door. As soon as we were outside, I playfully hit my wife's shoulders as she burst out laughing. God, you made me sound like a lunatic, Lisa. I chuckled. Well, I had to say something. I needed to tell him you had a temperature, and I think it's because you got caught out in the rain. Not just that a temperature suddenly sprung up by itself. He probably would have thought you had some kind of serious infection from your condition. And that would have been even worse, right? Lisa and I continued to giggle like mischievous children, recounting how Dr. Mark reacted and the way he lectured me. Truly, we were behaving like mischievous teenagers deeply in love. I playfully jabbed her, and she giggled and hung on to me. It had been a while since we had acted like this, and I enjoyed myself so much the whole time there. On the way home from the cab, we sat so close together, like lovebirds. That's cool. You heard what the doctor said. Your immunity is pretty weak. You should be taking better care of yourself, and you should rest lots. I want you off to bed when we get home, okay? And no more planning or whatever you wanted to do today. I won't, and truthfully, I only want to plan things together with you from now on. No more planning by myself. Anyway, tell me what you have been keeping yourself busy with these days. She went on to tell me about her discovery of some holistic treatment that she heard from her friends and those she found on the internet. Of course, every now and then she made a point to reassure me and remind me that she did some very in-depth research on them, rather than merely just blindly trusting them. I couldn't help but smile at her attempts at trying to justify herself as she excitedly continued with her tales of exploration in trying to find a cure for me. My eyelids hung heavy as I listened to her attentively, not so much about what she had discovered, but to see again the sparks and liveliness in her being, which I had missed so much after being so caught up with my own thoughts. Her familiar voice of exciting chattering happily and lovingly brings comfort to my ears. From the cab all the way to our doorstep, I listened to her chat the whole time in contentment, though I felt a little uneasy with the cold and the heavy eyelids. I wanted to talk to my wife forevermore. There was so much to catch up on, but she insisted on me going to bed. My eyes could hardly open. My heavy head is getting heavier, and my runny nose is not doing any better. Lisa quickly helped change me and tuck me into bed. She took my temperature, gave me my medicine, and told me to rest. After Lisa was done with the dishes and had checked up on me, she laid next to me and told me she would probably lay down to catch a nap together with me. I could see Lisa was truly tired, and a sense of guilt swept over me again. As soon as she lay down, she sat up again. Sweetheart, what's wrong? Are you okay? I'm just feeling a little bit giddy and nauseous. Oh, Lisa, are you coming down with a cold as well? Maybe you shouldn't be laying next to me. Maybe you'll catch my virus. Oh, stop it, Jacob. Not that I mind at all, but if I were to catch it, it'd already be too late to prevent it, don't you think? I think I'm just a little bit tired. I hope you don't mind me laying down with you for a while. She smiled and laid next to me again. No, not at all. I'm more than happy to have my beautiful queen next to me. And have you decided on the date for the Sapporo trip? Suddenly, I felt like whisking my wife to a place where we could spend a relaxing time together, a break from all the madness where we could recover from this tiredness. No, Jacob, actually, I don't think it's a good time right now to plan for that. You're still unwell, and Dr. Marks says he needs to see you next week to schedule you for another test. And who knows when that is. Let's not plan that for now. We need to plan to prep you up to get well first. Oh, now look who's talking. I gave Lisa a squinting look, and her eyes suddenly rolled in realization. We both burst out laughing at our reversed roles. I continued with some more teasing before both of us slipped into a drowsy and happy rest. The evening was full of laughter. However, Lisa gets tired easily and kept napping in between. I hope she isn't coming down with the flu. I remember that she was out in the cold longer than I was, so it was no surprise if she did. Damn, I didn't even know how long she'd been kneeling out in the rain. Shit. Day 13. Lisa was still resting when I opened my eyes. Despite me having a cold, Lisa was more tired than I was, sleeping through until the alarm rang before checking my temperature and giving me my fever medicine. I couldn't help but think I was truly blessed to have such a loving and caring wife. Yes, I was still running a temperature, but I could feel it subsiding, thankfully. I felt the need to get well fast, just so I could let my wife rest and take care of her in exchange. My runny nose caused my nose to itch, and I let it out a sneeze. My runny nose caused my nose to itch, and I let out a sneeze, startling Lisa slightly. Oh, honey, are you okay, or are you cold? Shall I turn off the air conditioner? Despite having just abruptly been woken up, her senses sprang into concern for my well-being. Lisa, love, I'm fine. Go back to rest. I'm sorry for sneezing. Don't be silly. Anyway, I need to wake up right now. What time is it? Look, the sun's already up high. I need to get the breakfast ready for my sneezing king. And with that, she stretched up her hands and let out a long yawn. Hey, don't worry about that. Go back and rest for a while more. Besides, I'm not hungry, and if I am, I'll make myself something. I truly am feeling a lot better now. My running nose is betraying how I am really feeling. And how are you feeling now? Still giddy? You don't look too well, Lisa. You better rest some more. I don't want you coming down with anything, because who will be looking after your king if you do? I gave her a grin before continuing. Really, my love, you've done enough, especially the amount of times you woke up to check on me and gave me medicine. You need the rest, my love. Really? You'll be fine? Yes, of course. Please trust me. Just laze for a while more, and don't worry about my medication. I got this. And with that, she smiled and whispered a thank you and closed her eyes. She didn't laze. She fell straight back into a deep slumber. Poor Lisa, I thought. She must be truly exhausted. I decided to make my way to the kitchen and take my medication before washing up, but not before turning off the annoying alarm that awakened my sleeping beauty. After making my own meal and preparing one for Lisa, I decided to sit and think about monetary matters and our finances. Though I did not have many plans about my condition and decided I would not make any more plans without my wife, I needed to make sure that she'd be able to have enough financially to live comfortably, whether she decides to return to work or otherwise. Though just through some simple calculations, I worked out that we had saved quite a bit. And if we were lucky, we should have more than enough to live comfortably for many years to come, not forgetting the other investments that we had. So, after lunch, I sat quietly in the study room, going through the finances while awaiting my precious wife to awaken. Suddenly, I heard her retching from her room, and I ran in to check on her. She was throwing up in the bathroom, looking extremely pale, and my heart started beating fast. Oh no. Lisa, honey, what happened? Are you okay? She was still gurgling and retching. It was a heart-wrenching sight, and I felt helpless, not being able to do anything. Lisa, are you okay? All I could do was rub her back, hoping it would at least bring her some comfort and ease. When she finally stopped retching, her face was completely covered in sweat. After she gained her composure, she spoke. I'm fine, Jacob. Sorry about that. I just felt so terrible. I think I'm better now. What happened, my love? I really don't know. I just felt sick, and my throat is burning now. Can you please pass some water, Jacob? Looking into the toilet bowl, I saw nothing but foam and yellowish liquid. Lisa, your stomach is empty. Maybe that's why you have lots of air, and you only throw up foam and gastric juice. What you are feeling is probably the acid coming from your stomach. Just saying those words made me feel rather uneasy, reminding me of my own condition, gastric cancer. But I was sure Lisa was far from having that. At least I prayed to the dear Lord not. With all the stresses she has been through, I reasoned that she was probably suffering from mild gastritis, or perhaps coming down with a stomach flu. Hang on. I quickly got her a warm glass of water while she cleaned herself up. Baby, I think you need to eat something. Come on, I prepared breakfast, or rather brunch for you. I don't know if you're up for eating something filling, but at least have some soup. I don't feel like eating anything right now, Jacob. I'm still feeling a little giddy. I think I just need to lie down. No, honey, at least have some soup first, if you decide to lay down. I practically shoved my wife towards the dining table despite her little protest, and pleased to return to rest. I was struck with a sense of uneasiness about this sudden situation. Lisa, where's the antacid? I think you should take some now. No, I forgot to replace them when they were finished. I didn't think you would need that after your doctor replaced those with the other prescription we had for you. I don't think it's that bad. I'll just take some milk. I think it'll be okay. She managed to take a few sips of soup and then some warm milk. Thankfully, I saw some color returning to her face after a few minutes at the table. By this time, she was pinching some bread to dip into the soup despite not touching the fish fingers and eggs laid out on our plate. Boy, that feels much better, though my throat is still sore from the burning earlier. Sorry to have worried you, Jacob. Don't know what came over me. I think maybe you're right. Maybe I'm having gastric trouble. Sighing, she continued. And when I start taking care of you, you had better prepare breakfast for me instead. Oh, have you had yours, and have you taken your medication? How is your runny nose, and how are you feeling today? Yes, love, I've taken everything that needs to be taken, so don't worry about it. And as a matter of fact, I think my fever has subsided. I'm not feeling chilly anymore either. How do you know? What did the thermometer say? I haven't checked it yet, but I just know. Oh, you silly man. Come on, let's take your temperature just to be sure. My loving wife then went and took the thermometer, placing it under my tongue as usual, and gave me a big, bright smile. You're right, my husband. Your fever has finally subsided. Beaming, she bent down and gave me a tight hug. Boy, I really feel much better. Thank you, honey, for the wonderful breakfast. My appetite has suddenly returned, I trust. And with that, she started picking on the fish fingers and finally ate her eggs and juice as well. I was happy that she looked well and fine, her appetite having returned. We spent the afternoon discussing together our financial situation, investments, and assets, which Lisa was fine with, fortunately. In between our discussions, we joked about our earlier silliness. By the evening, Lisa had excused herself to prepare a meal. Coming out into the living room shortly after to have a seat, she looked pale and was sweating heavily. Oh no. Baby, are you all right? You look very pale. God, what happened? I'm not sure, Jacob. I think my gastritis is back. I suddenly feel very giddy and nauseous again. Maybe I shouldn't have drank so much orange juice. It's pretty acidic and may have worsened it. I was having many thoughts at this point. Was she really all right? I didn't want to panic, but the worries about the similarity to my condition and her present state started to creep back into my mind. Oh, stop it, Jacob. Stop thinking of the worst possible stuff. It could just be plain gastritis. Most people experience gastritis once in a while, I quietly told myself. I rubbed her shoulders to ease her discomfort. She seemed quite deep in thought during those few moments. God, I hope she doesn't start reading her condition with that of my dreaded disease. I thought to myself, everything is just brightening up now, and I don't want to go through another ordeal. Not right now. After a while, she stood up, looking better. I was pretty relieved that her symptoms went as unexpectedly and suddenly as they came. Sweetheart, why don't you sit a while more? Let me go and prepare the meals. But you're sick. No, I'm fine now. Look, even my runny nose is clearing. Pretty fast for a day, actually. Must be my wife's magical love. I gave her a wink and a reassuring smile, and I wasn't lying. I really was feeling fine, and my strength had somehow returned. Not fully, but better than that of yesterday. I guess I'll run to the pharmacy before they close. I think I better go get those antacids just in case my gastritis hacks up later. God, I really hate this feeling. Are you sure, Lisa? Why don't I go with you and we'll fix dinner after we're home? No, I'll be fine. Besides, I don't want you leaving the house. You just got well, Jacob, and I don't want you to strain yourself again. The weather outside won't do you any good in helping you recover either. It looks pretty windy out there. Besides, I'm getting quite hungry. And she started chuckling. Pig. Says the bigger one. Huh. And we both broke into laughter together again. Are you sure you'll be fine, love? Sure, Jacob. It's just around the corner anyway, and I'll be back in no time. Besides, by now you should know who has better immunity. I don't easily catch a cold in the rain like some people, you know. She said it teasingly, and I smiled. Yes, I have a show-off for a wife. You better get going, my strong and resilient wife. Craving anything special? Nothing in particular. I actually prepared your meal, and have taken out some ingredients before the giddiness struck. See if you can whip up on something light with those. All right, honey. And with that, she headed for the door. In the kitchen were slices of half-cut onions, carrots, and whole tomatoes. Was she thinking a salad? I decided to make a chicken salad for her. A soup to go with that would be good. Yes, I'll make her favorite onion soup, I thought. I quickly went and prepared all that was needed and worked on it. Lisa returned quite quickly too, and I heard the door open. I'm back. Ew, what's that smell? What smell, love? I prepared your favorite soup, if that's what you meant, French onion soup. Before I could complete my sentence, Lisa made a run for the toilet and slammed the door shut. Oh boy. Still in an apron and holding the ladle which I was stirring the soup with, I stood speechless, not knowing what actually just happened. Lisa, are you all right? Did I do or say something wrong? Maybe she just needed to use the toilet real bad. Yes, I'm fine. I just needed to use the bathroom. I heard her calling out from there. Okay. I continued cooking the last dish, and she called out again. Do you mind if I take a quick shower? I hope I won't make you wait. No worries, love. I'm still cooking, but almost done. Go ahead and have a shower. Okay, thanks, honey. I took my time in setting up the table with a huge bowl of her favorite soup, my meal, and chicken salad all nicely spread out on the table. I wonder if she's taking a shower to hide the sound of her throwing up. Like to mask the sound of her throwing up so he doesn't worry. She came out right on time when I was setting down the final piece of cutlery. She was looking fresh, beaming so bright when she saw the table. Boy, the shower had done her good. She looked extremely happy, and she spread out her arms while walking towards me, presumably touched by my act of love. However, after just a few steps, her face suddenly grimaced with disgust, and she started running towards the toilet again. Lisa, love? I heard her retching again in the toilet. What the hell was happening? Oh boy. I quickly took off the apron and ran to my wife. By the time I reached her, she was bending over the bowl. Sweat was forming heavily on her, and she retched over the toilet. I rubbed her back slightly. Baby, what's wrong? Are you all right? Sounding quite impatient, she groaned out some words in between retching. Jacob, can you please get rid of that smell? Ugh, please, I can't stand the smell of it. It makes me so nauseous, please. What smell, love? I don't smell anything bad. The food smells, whatever you made. I think it's just the onion smell. It made me sick earlier, and I was slicing them as well. She gurgled. You mean the French onion soup? But that's your favorite soup, Lisa. I was quite baffled with her sudden adverse reaction to it. She adored French onion soup. Yes, that. I don't know why either, but it's making me very giddy and sick. I know you prepared that for me, and I tried, but I can't. I'm sorry, Jacob, but that smell is making my stomach churn. I couldn't help but feel disappointed at hearing this, because I had taken some time to prepare it. I had expected her to be elated, but instead, it didn't matter. My wife's well-being was the priority right now. Sure, honey, no problem. As I quickly made my way to the table to clear the soup off, she called out again. And can you please air the room and spray some freshener, please? Oh, yeah, sure, love. What is happening to Lisa, I wondered. She was in the toilet for quite some time as I aired the room out the best I possibly could, spraying frantically. She must have heard me spraying, and another request was called out. Honey, not so much, please. The scent is overpowering. It's making me sick again. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Oh, damn. When she finally came out, she looked apologetic. I'm so sorry for all the fuss, Jacob. It's all right, sweetheart. Most importantly, are you okay? What happened to you all of a sudden? Do you want to eat? I stared at the pathetic-looking cold meal on the table now, and Lisa was very quick in answering. Yes, I'm famished. I'm going to go warm them up now. Sorry for making you wait and for all the fuss again, but I'm so happy now. She went to gather our meals to warm up. I couldn't help but think that she was acting pretty weird. Before, she was giddy and sick, but now she's looking like a hungry elephant. Earlier at the toilet, she was so agitated, and now she was looking so elated. We sat down and enjoyed our meal together, and Lisa was almost glowing and in a great mood. Thank you, my caring husband, for the delicious chicken salad, and sorry for your lost effort on the soup. No problem, my love. What happened? Are you sure you're all right? Yes, Jacob, I'm sure. Must be some hormonal change or something. The onion suddenly reeked so bad to me. But that is quite common when we have hormonal changes in our body, I guess. Oh, so that's what it was. She must have been going through some premenstrual syndrome, PMS they call it. Well, that explained her sudden and drastic mood change. So I guessed it wasn't an illness. Well, that's a relief. But I still believe she might have gastritis. And I playfully teased her. Oh, someone is having PMS now. Oh, shut up. What do you know? And she smiled. I'm glad you're not upset with me. Thanks for understanding. Tell me, how are you feeling, Jacob? I'm feeling really fine, except for I'm extremely worried about you. See, even my runny nose has stopped completely. Cooking must have done me some good. Maybe the steam from stirring your smelly food helped. And we both burst out laughing. I'm so glad you're feeling better, Jacob, but you still need to take it easy. Dr. Mark says he can't schedule you for a test if you still have a dose of the flu or infection by then. You need to constantly be watchful and keep your immunity up. Yes, my dear Lisa, I hear you. Sorry, but can I know how long PMS actually lasts? Because you seldom show any symptoms except mild mood swings sometimes. But this time it's pretty noticeable. I need to know when this sudden typhoon's going to end. Oh, come on, it isn't that bad. Anyway, this past week's been very stressful for my body. I guess my hormones were all in balance and I'm late too. It all plays out, I guess. That was very true of Lisa's body. Every time she got extremely stressed, especially during those times where we were working on some important project for the show, her menstrual cycle would be awfully delayed. Sometimes she could be late for about 2 months, and during those times she could be pretty moody, quick-tempered, and emotional. Because she was on pills, when her cycle was interrupted, she had problems with the dates to start her next cycle of pills. And she wasn't on the pills because we didn't want any children of her own. It was mainly, though, that we decided not to have any at this moment. Our lifestyles were pretty hectic with the radio station. We planned to look into this when we had a less stressful life, but sadly, it didn't look like an option we would be looking into for a while now, due to my condition. Hey, what's with those deep thoughts? You're looking so solemn, Jacob. Come on, share them with your wife. I'm happily enjoying my meal with my beloved husband here, and he's looking so solemn and deep in thought. Today is a happy occasion. My husband cooked for me 2 times in a day. I am such a lucky lady and truly feeling like a queen today. Lisa seemed really happy and beaming now. In fact, her face truly looked like she was glowing. Hopefully her mood will stay this way for a while. I was truly at bliss seeing her in this state. Baby, your face is glowing. Really, it's been a while. Oh, that's because I'm in love with the most wonderful man. I hope that's me. I gave her a cheeky grin. Well, what do you think? She replied in her usual sassy way with a wink. We ended the evening meal happily and lovingly again. Thankfully, Lisa's gastritis didn't act up the whole time after. My flu was subsiding as well, with no more fever or runny nose. I don't know what they say about a cold needing to run its course for a few days. Mine miraculously subsided in a day by itself. I truly suspected that the positive attitude and atmosphere I was in by surrounding myself with Lisa's loving presence was the reason for this extraordinary recovery. I did not even notice the low moods or lethargic feelings that often swept over me several times a day since the start of my medication, which were the side effects I had become accustomed to feeling. Nope, none of those were these last 2 days. Either that or I was more absorbed with other wonderful feelings to notice. Yes, even the dull discomfort in my gut area seemed unnoticeable lately. All right. With that, guys, we're going to go ahead and save this game. And we'll pick this back up later at some point. But we're going to go ahead and save that there. And feels like everything was really cool up until recently. It's kind of hit a little bit of a I don't know. It's a little bit drawn out, I guess. Now seems like it's kind of dragging a little bit. So hopefully it'll get back on track soon and something will happen. Lisa getting sick and all that, I mean, it's probably a sign of something to come or whatever, but I'm still enjoying it, but yeah, I think it's time for a break. I've been reading for about, I don't know, a while, hour and a half probably at least. All right, guys, with that, I'm also going to take a break. Yeah, 3:51. All right, so I'm going to take probably about a 20-minute break. I'm going to go ahead and end this part right here, guys. I wanted to go ahead and break this 24-hour live stream into like 4-hour periods. So I'm going to go ahead and take a probably 20-minute break, guys. I'll be back with part 3 of my 24-hour live stream in about 20 minutes. And thanks everybody for being here. You guys, we'll see you soon right back here on my channel with part 3.